The Montgomery College-Smithsonian Faculty Fellowship Program is a unique collaboration between the Paul Peck Humanities Institute and Smithsonian's Office of Educational Technology. This unique professional development opportunity encourages community college faculty to teach with the Smithsonian. In 2022, the program hit a milestone anniversary, celebrating 25 years, 235 faculty fellows, and more than 25,000 student visits to Smithsonian museums. Professor Nichole Thomas is an industrial organizational psychologist with expertise in college persistence and student success, high-stakes assessment, post-secondary academic advising, as well as research methods and statistics. She has conceptualized, implemented, and authored research studies for peer-reviewed journals, higher education institutions, and organizations providing high-stakes assessment. Prior to service as a full-time teaching faculty member at Montgomery College, Dr. Thomas served as a principal research scientist, senior research scientist, senior revenue and capacity analyst, and research scientist. Service preceding her work in these applied roles includes service as a college counselor and clinician, as well as teaching part-time and full-time at several community colleges and universities. Dr. Thomas specializes in teaching undergraduate and graduate courses in research methods and statistics.
I'm going to share with you today a content analysis of content analyses, essentially research-based recommendations for increasing hope and inspiration following an examination of contemporary crafts and decorative arts at the Renwick Gallery. I want to begin by saying thank you. Thank you so much. First to Alice Harrington, who served as the photographer for this project. Part of this project involved creating a virtual museum experience for students. So a website that captures the approximately 176 pieces of artwork that are currently on exhibit at the Renwick Gallery in Washington, D.C. Also, thank you to Sarah Ducey and to Mimi and Denise, who are just so fantastic. I love participating in this program, as well as my fellow faculty fellows. Everyone's been really supportive. So I want to thank everyone in advance. And finally, I want to say thank you to the people at the Renwick Gallery. I was there so many times as a part of doing this project, and people were just really warm and welcoming. So thank you for that. So there are 5 educational research questions that I had, and I'm going to share with you what happened and what the curriculum was, how it was implemented, but mostly the results. So what did we learn from students, and what did they discover? So the first research question is, which positive feelings connect most to hope from the perspective of college students? A second, which positive feelings connect most to inspiration from the perspective of college students? And then third, are there similarities and or differences between the positive feelings connected to inspiration and those connected to hope? And then finally, based on content analytic coding of all artwork currently exhibited at the Renwick, which contemporary craft or decorative art is most likely to elicit hope in individuals? And then there's the same question with respect to eliciting inspiration. So I'm going to go next to sharing some background with you. So 59 students in 4 undergraduate courses participated in this project. Each student conducted his, her, or their own content analytics study of all contemporary crafts and decorative arts currently on exhibition at the Renwick. The process that I used involved scaffolding. So for one class session only, that's approximately 1 hour and 15 minutes early on in the semester. So in weeks 3, 6, 9, and 12, we had 4 activities that allowed students to do some foundational work in preparation for the end of the semester activities, which would focus on intensive work on the culminating final project. So the key thing is that each student identified his, her, or their population of interest, and students participated in Magic of the Museum Day. So those activities involve discussion, students talking about whose pain matters to them. I always begin with the question, whose pain matters to you and why? And that helps students to plug into a population of interest that would be appropriate for them. We talked about some other things listed here. Just due to time constraints, I won't share everything that's written here, but this communicates the discussion activities that we had. Students learned about the feelings wheel. This is a research-based tool developed by Gloria Cox, and it's a way to explore and process emotions. And the fourth and final scaffolding activity was Magic of the Museum Day. So this was in week 12 of the fall 22 semester. Students had the option of participating in either a virtual museum visit or going to the Renwick Gallery. So a large number of students did come to participate in our Magic of the Museum Day. I was there from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and they were invited to come at any point during the day that made sense for them. They also had the option of going at any point during the week. So they weren't limited to just that day. Okay, at the end, for the final 3 weeks of the semester, there were 4 things that happened that allowed us to intensively focus on students completing their own content analytic study. So I led content analytic coding training. Students completed a content analysis. Students analyzed their own research results, and they prepared a 20-slide presentation that culminated with their research-based recommendations for bringing hope to the population of interest that they identified earlier in the semester and bringing inspiration to their population of interest. So I keep talking about content analytic coding and emotions and what does it all mean? So there are many different positive emotions. If you look at a feelings wheel and there are different versions, you have core emotions, level 2 and level 3 emotions. So we worked with the level 2 emotions. And so here you see 10 positive emotions, including feeling amazed, intimate, interested, excited, joyful, powerful, proud, peaceful, accepted, and optimistic. And so the question posed to each student was, what are the top 3 emotions, in your opinion, that connect most to hope? So each student created his, her, or their own conceptualization of the feelings connected most to hope. And we see here that overall, feeling accepted and optimistic connect most to hope for students who participated in this project. And interestingly, about 50% of all positive feelings connected to hope from the perspective of these student researchers include feeling optimistic, accepted, and peaceful. Now, what about inspiration? So we're dealing with the same 10 set of emotions. Students had the same question. In contrast to the positive feelings connected to hope from the perspective of students, most believe that feeling amazed, powerful, and interested connected most to feeling or experiencing inspiration. And so you can see that here, about 50% of feeling inspired is connected to these top 3 emotions from the perspective of these student researchers. Okay, very briefly, I was interested in differences. We can see that even though hope and inspiration might sound like they're maybe the same thing, they're really different. And creating that experience for people is different. So just have some data that you can see differences in how feeling amazed in particular and accepted and interested, there's really a big delta there. But let's keep going. Statistical analysis. So what happened? Based on content analytic coding of all artwork currently exhibited at the Renwick, which contemporary craft or decorative art is most likely to elicit hope in individuals? And so each student determined the number 1 contemporary craft or decorative art for eliciting hope based on the student's own content analytic coding of positive feelings elicited when they experienced each piece of artwork individually using the virtual museum website. And using consensus analysis, I discovered that 5 pieces of artwork, so only 5 pieces of artwork of 176 accounted for 56.3% of the #1 contemporary craft votes for eliciting hope based on the reality of the piece actually eliciting the top 3 emotions connected to hope from the perspective of student researchers. Okay, results, where are those pieces? Here they are. First, Nike with Broken Wings with a value of n equals 3. A beautiful piece by Marilyn. Second, Our Destruction, a wonderful piece by Carla Hemlock with n equals 4. 4 students identifying this as the #1 piece of 176 pieces that connects to eliciting hope based on conceptualizations tying into top 3 emotions. Beautiful piece. Another of the 5, Schoolgirl by Carolyn Crump, n equals 5. 5 students identifying this particular piece. And Otro Mundo es Posible, Aram Cifuentes, n equals 7. So 7 students identifying this as the #1 piece based on their content analytic coding. So not opinion, but actual research-based review evaluation. This is what they arrived at. So large number there. And the winner, the most popular, strong consensus for this piece called This Present Moment by Alicia Eggert, n equals 11 for that. The last question, what about inspiration? Based on content analytic coding of all artwork currently exhibited at the Renwick, which contemporary craft or decorative art is most likely to elicit inspiration in individuals? So the same process was followed. Coding was uniform, but the 3 emotions tied to it were conceptualized independently. So different results there. 46.3% attributed to only 7 pieces of artwork, #1 based on student evaluations and their conceptualizations related to positive emotions. We have an n equals 3, Heart of Gold. So this is a piece that elicits inspiration from the perspective of students based on their conceptualizations of the 3 positive feelings that connect to inspiration. We have n equals 3 for this beautiful piece by Karen Lamont. And we have n equals 3 for this glaze skate piece by Lauren Mabry. And n equals 3 for Warrior with Color Face, a wonderful piece, High Fire Clay with Glaze. Another appearance for Otro Mundo es Posible, the Aram Cifuentes piece with n equals 4. And Don't Tread on Me, the Harlem Hellfighters quilt by Bisa Butler, n equals 4. Alicia Eggert just showing up again as really creating work that inspires both hope and inspiration, like the Aram Cifuentes piece, This Present Moment. So what does it all mean? What's the take-home point? One can consume food for the purpose of pleasure or the purpose of increasing physiological wellness. Similarly, one can consume art for the purpose of pleasure or the purpose of increasing psychological wellness. My perception, and I'm fully persuaded, is that the results of this endeavor demonstrate that art as intervention is a practical way to use the science of psychology to develop research-based recommendations to increase hope and inspiration in others. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that this was maybe useful for you. Thank you, everyone.